3 days of sudden thunderstorms in Japan, which doesn't impact our favourite wrestlers too much as they're supposed to stay largely indoors, but some are clearly happier about this situation than others. The happy ones are those who have decent sparring partners within their stable walls. Shodai and Yutakayama, for instance, who fought 10 more practice bouts against each other on August the 31st. Ozeki candidate Shodai triumphed 8-2, but vowed not to let the hype around a possible promotion get to him. "I'm just focused on keeping my sumo together and imposing my style, and if a promotion follows on from that, then great," he said in his typically measured style. "I still feel my body's a bit tight, but I have no major injury worries and am training fine. The short turnaround between the July and September tournaments is not easy to deal with, but not overly concerning." Yutakayama, doubtless relieved Kakuryu is not allowed round to beat him up, was quick to hail Shodai's progress in 2020, saying, "Since the new year, I've basically been unable to beat him. I won about 5 from 100 against him prior to July. He's just become unbelievably strong. I wasn't in bad condition today, you know. I'm surpassing where I was in July." Asked as to his own ambitions given his fine return to form, he said, "Like Shodai, I feel things can really change for me if I can just bust out of my shell. I hope I can absorb some things from him. Recent tournaments have seen several guys take turns at the lead role, and I'd like to get among them." Takakeisho also claims to be more than happy with his Chiganura sparring team, which includes high-flying Takanosho. The Ozeki jumped by 14 kilos at the August weigh-in, up to an incredible 183, but claims, as many wrestlers do, this was due to the sheer number of items in his pockets when he stepped on the scales. He asserts that he's studying nutritional science even more than before, and is enjoying a lot of horse meat at present. Fellow Ozeki Asanoyama insists he is getting by without salaried opponents after a refreshing workout with 4 3rd Division men on Wednesday. We assume 2 of them include Asagyokse, who lost his salaried slot in March, and Terasawa, who lost his belt in a bizarre act of thievery, presumably conducted in this alleyway. They don't hang the belts out here anymore. "These boys are hungry to rise up the ranks, and my role as senior wrestler is to help them do that," Asanayama said. "They get a lift facing me, and I've got to make sure I'm not beaten for spirit." Among the least happy men at the moment, though, is Mitakeumi, who is rather tired of beating lower division buddies each day. "I desperately want double figures this tournament, but in truth, I'm even more concerned about my condition than I was in July," he admitted. "If I can't train externally with other high rankers, I simply can't do proper bouts. I suppose, though, I can at least focus on conditioning and core exercises, which I wasn't able to do so much on the tours." We understand the skipping rope is now part of his 172 kilogram frame's daily routine in 3 1-minute sets. "My body feels heavy though," he said. "I'll try some bouts with the younger boys and hopefully little by little that'll bring some sharpness back. I always win in practice here, but then these long winner stays on sessions actually make me surprisingly stronger." Even his attempts to de-stress have failed though, with the vegetables he attempted to grow on the stable roof withering in the summer heat. "They are as difficult to raise as my junior stablemates," he quipped. Last year, Kakuryu, with only 2 lower division stablemates to call upon, would have joined Mitakeumi in the ranks of the depressed, but his move to Michinoku stable sees him work out with hot prospect Kiribayama every day. The relationship is mutually beneficial. Kiribayama has significantly broadened his diet as a result of Kakuryu's advice and food choices, while the Yokozuna can be kept on his toes in the ring. Although Kakuryu hasn't resumed practice bouts yet, he claims he doesn't have far to go to recover his fighting condition and will strive to get back to his old self. He is also heavily focused on looking after his 3rd child, who was born this May. Kiribayama, meanwhile, who fought 25 practice bouts against lower division stablemates yesterday, says he is doubly determined to preserve his proud record of never having had consecutive losing scores. Even wrestlers with strong sparring partners love a bit of variety, though. It is thus a frustrating time for all, especially for those barred from visiting stables in touching distance. In the case of Nishikido and Hakaku, literally touching. Kakuryu, as chair of the Wrestlers' Committee, did suggest using the Rumi Kokugikan practice area as a place for inter-stable practice, only to be rebuffed by the table-thumping fist of sumo media chief Shibatayama. Thus, the final week of training will see the wrestlers make do with what they have.